CWPA Remote.
Hi, I'm Ed Hawes, Director of Communications for the Collegiate Water Polo Association, and this is CWPA Remote. With me today is the newest, or at least one of the newest head coaches in the NCAA ranks, Alyssa Diacono of Mount St. Mary's College. At least, well, Augustana started after you now, so technically you're not the newest program anymore. You're the second newest program in NCAA water polo. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Why don't you talk a little bit about how you got into the sport of water polo and what brought you to Emmitsburg, Maryland and Mount St. Mary's?
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of had a later start to water polo than most. I actually was born in Michigan, and my dad's job had moved us to Illinois before landing in California. And so I played softball, soccer, basketball before finding water polo my freshman year of high school. And so it was actually one of my softball teammates who convinced me to give it a try. And essentially, I just never looked back after I got into the pool. And so played my 4 years at high school at Tesoro. I joined club, I think, my sophomore year. So even that was kind of a later start. And then I played at Set. And I, at the beginning, never really thought about playing water polo in college. It just never was on my radar until one of my club teammates, really encouraged me, kind of gave me the nudge of like, no, you should try. And so that's when I really kind of looked into the recruiting process for myself and at different schools. And so I ended up at San Diego State, and I remember walking on campus and just kind of knowing that was where I was meant to be. And so I played there for 4 years, and I am incredibly thankful for the opportunity that I had as an Aztec and the growth I made, not just as a player, but as an individual as well. I was really thankful that I had earned my bachelor's in public health and different opportunities that also created for me. And then I wasn't quite done playing once I graduated college. So I looked to play abroad and ended up in Perth. And so I was playing for the Torpedoes in Australia for a season, and that was truly an incredible experience as well. And then while I was in Perth, I was looking at different opportunities to earn my master's. And so I luckily had a volunteer coach at San Diego State who knew Curtis at Mercyhurst. And so I got in contact with Mercyhurst and was able to be the grad assistant there and earn my master's. Another great opportunity. And that's actually where I really fell in love with coaching. Up until that point, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. If I wanted to pursue the public health route, or if I wanted to, go completely in a different direction. But I really fell in love with coaching and decided that I wanted to, create opportunities for other student athletes, like water polo created opportunities for me. And then I think it was January, it kind of blurs for a bit, but I think in January, Mount St. Mary's posted the job, and I thought it was just a great opportunity since I was going to be graduating this spring anyways, and kind of the rest writes itself. And been really thankful for the opportunity that Mount St. Mary's has created to not just bring me on board, but add water polo in general.
Now, I should point out you kind of glanced over your career at San Diego State. You were the Female Athlete of the Year in 2017, two-time All-American, led San Diego State to 76-60 record when you were there, including 26-0 in the Gold Coast, 158 goals, 90 steals, 23 assists, 17 saves. So I would say you had a little bit more than just a pretty good career at San Diego State. You had a pretty outstanding career at San Diego State. I don't want that to go by the wayside, because you did do a lot when you were a player at San Diego State.
Oh, well, thank you.
Obviously, born in Michigan, time in Illinois, and then out to California, but probably most of what you remember weather-wise is probably California. And when you go to grad school, you end up in Erie, which is not renowned for its sunshine necessarily. the Great Lakes are not the easiest place to spend a winter. So going from California to the East Coast, at least for grad school, and then being a graduate assistant coach, and now to Mount St. Mary's, how's that transition been going from sunshine to snow?
Yeah. It was definitely challenging at first, but I was ready for the new adventure. You definitely learn a lot about yourself when it snows, like, I don't know, 10 inches at one time. Definitely when your memories are going sledding and building snowmen and not scraping your car and digging it out of a bunch of snow. But I really enjoyed, it's a different perspective, and obviously the sun is nice, but the winter might have been a little bit longer, but you still have fall, and even watching the leaves change color was like a whole new thing, a whole new world for me, because I feel like California, it's green or brown. But no, it was really great experience, and I'm really thankful for it. But I do have to say there's been more sun in Maryland than in Erie, so I'm not complaining at all.
Not complaining about that. No, it's understandable. It's understandable. Obviously, you step into the Mount St. Mary's program. There's no history necessarily of water polo at Mount St. Mary's. You kind of step into the program. You have to build the program right away, get to recruiting. How'd you go about that process of, recruiting for the program and selling Mount St. Mary's to a water polo player looking for an opportunity to play on the varsity level and kind of be a founding father and or mother to some extent, for the program?
Yeah. Well, if you asked me in February how I thought the recruiting year would have gone, I would have told you I was on the pool deck and traveling every weekend, but things changed pretty quickly. And so I had to become creative once the pandemic hit. We were all in quarantine. And so, like I said, I had to get creative, and I relied heavily on social media and reaching out to club and high school coaches, as well as using, Zoom and being a little bit more active with my emails and everything like that. But I think being on the younger side of things, I think it did help me connect with student athletes more, or prospective student athletes more, because of the social media and just really hitting the virtual side of things. And then Mount St. Mary's did an excellent job of going online pretty quick. And so the admissions had virtual tours up, and, our SID posted videos of all of our facilities and everything like that. So collectively, I thought we did a decent job of going virtual in a way.
Well, I mean, you stepped in, and right away you're competing against, on the recruiting trail. Obviously with COVID, you couldn't actually get out to see athletes. What's been your biggest challenge your first couple of months, first 6 months, I guess, as a head coach? What's been your biggest challenge to taking over the program and kind of building it up?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's hard to pick out, one thing. I think how I've looked at it is nothing's been truly a setback. It's just kind of we're going to reroute a little bit. And so one of the biggest things I think for the prospective student athletes is getting the feel of campus. And that's something that I know I can't recreate. I can have them meet with advisors and admissions and, different athletic staff, but it truly, I can't implement or recreate that feel of campus. So I think that's been one of the biggest challenges, is just not being able to get them onto campus. But everyone I've talked to has been really great and understanding, and we're just trying to make the best out of the situation we're currently in.
Yeah. I mean, from the recruiting standpoint, what do you look for in a prospective student athlete if you're looking for someone to come to Mount St. Mary's and step right into the program where, you got the possibility of being a starter right away?
Yeah.
There's no one necessarily ahead of you for playing time. So what do you look for in terms of an athlete, and then how should an athlete go about reaching out? How should an athlete kind of frame themselves to get the most attention from you and from any college program, admittedly, in the recruiting process?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing definitely as a new program is that growth mindset, and being coachable. It's going to be definitely a process and a journey while we create a foundation, but there are so many benefits of that. Like you said, there's an opportunity to make an impact in the water right away, which is, kind of how I've been selling it. And, you have the opportunity to come. You're not trying to beat out a senior a fifth year or anything like that. And so that playing time has definitely been important, and obviously is going to change as we grow, but that's been a big thing, as well as just being part of something bigger than yourself. And it does take a special individual to realize that, they have the ability to make an impact that lasts years beyond them and their collegiate careers per se. But otherwise, I think, being a good student speaks volumes. You are a student athlete, and student comes first for a reason. And so, that work in the classroom and your good grades and, anything other than the grades and the athleticism in high school, whether it be volunteering or any extracurriculars, also kind of speaks a lot to just different time management skills and everything. And then obviously in the water, your athletic ability kind of speaks for itself, but it's things like your anticipation and your willingness to work hard, away from the ball and little things like that. So obviously, scoring goals and the assists are important, but, I also like to look more on the defensive side too for the field players and, seeing how they're reacting, playing in the lanes and everything like that. And then as far as getting in contact with me, we have a questionnaire on our athletic website, so mountathletics.com. That's just the best way, that you kind of get on my radar right now, is because I get those emails. And then, my email will hopefully soon be on the website as well. And you can reach out to me via email too.
All right. Hey, you're kind of getting into this now as a head coach, and obviously kind of mentorship and peers and people to lean on. Who have been some of the people that you've kind of turned to during this process of being a head coach and building the program, and also transitioning, going from California to Erie to now Mount St. Mary's? Who have been some of those people that you've turned to for help and advice as you've gone through this process?
Yeah. There's been a handful of coaches, and I try and do my best to reach out to different people about different things just to keep on learning. But my head coach, Karen, I've, utilized her a lot. Same with Curtis. Like he's been helpful, definitely knowing, the East Coast and Midwest more. So I've learned from him. And then, like Natalie Benson's been instrumental, and just, I kind of picked her brain at the very beginning about how she started the program. She's at Fresno State. And then just really any of the club coaches and the high school coaches I've been able to reach out to have been, just great in having conversation and being willing to teach me, and so I know I'm new to the East Coast and I'm newer to the Midwest, but, I'm willing to learn, and it's definitely a process that is a two-way street. And I've really been appreciative of all of those people involved. And then I actually was really, really fortunate to meet Lynn Kashmerick. She coached at Bucknell, many moons ago, and she's just been awesome because it's just, she truly is probably one of my biggest mentors as of now. And even within the 3 months of being here, she's taught me a lot about the other side of water polo too, and the importance of building a team and everything. So I'm fortunate that I get to talk with her almost every day, and I look forward to doing more with her as well.
All right. In terms of Emmitsburg, Maryland, you're kind of directly south of St. Francis and Bucknell, and west of GW and some of the other programs. Talk a little bit about the town, the attractiveness of Emmitsburg, and what the location offers for a potential student, obviously from the school standpoint, but also from like kind of a culture standpoint, and kind of give a kind of little spiel as to a selling point for the university.
Yeah. Well, Emmitsburg itself it's a cute little town. And if you're into those outdoor activities, there's dozens of hikes within an hour, I would say, of campus. But even within our own campus, we have 3 different trails through the mountains. We have access to the Appalachian trails. There's several state parks. And so if you want to be outside, there's definitely opportunities to be outside. One of my quarantine hobbies was biking. And so I've biked like all of the streets of Emmitsburg, and it's definitely quiet, but it's beautiful. Definitely, as it's summer and we're getting good rain and everything, it's it's super green. It's farmland more. But then even, so Emmitsburg itself is smaller, but then we're 1.5 hours from Baltimore, 1.5 hours from Annapolis, 2-hour train ride to DC, 2.5 hours from Philly. So you could be hiking in the Appalachian Trails one day and in the city the next. And then just 20 minutes south of Emmitsburg is a town called Frederick. There's plenty of things to do. I think there's like every restaurant you can think of. And then, we're 20 minutes from Gettysburg too. So you have the best of both worlds. But the Mount St. Mary's itself, we call the Mount, it's a family, and we truly are a community. And the minute you step on campus, I think you kind of pick up on that vibe. And I was only on campus probably 2 weeks before we all were sent home. And that is something that I took away from it, and the support that I've had from the school, top to bottom, bottom to top, has been great. So I'm really excited.
All right. Well, we'll end it there. Coach, thanks for doing this, and good luck this upcoming season. Best of luck both this year and also into the future, as expect to see some championships out of you pretty soon.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thanks.